In Coquitlam today, a game of pickup street hockey, 45 years in the making. A group of old friends got together to play just as they have for decades. And in a time when the NHL season is edging closer to cancellation, Dan Burrett found out these players haven't forgotten the most important part of the game.
They've been playing for 45 years and have never had a lockout. Keith Jones, David Edwards, and Cam Irvin grew up near what is now Banting Middle School in Coquitlam and started playing street hockey after their parents sent them outside to run around ahead of Christmas dinner in 1968. Other friends joined in too over the years, and they haven't broken their holiday tradition, despite finding jobs, starting families, and moving away. In fact, players come to Coquitlam from Calgary and even Colorado just for the Christmas hockey game.
We all like sports, so we get together and make our own nets and just play ball hockey out in the street. My brother at the time was the youngest, so we put him in goal. And he's still a goaltender.
They even have an MVP trophy made by Cam in grade 8 pottery class.
It's been dropped a couple of times and broken, so we've glued it together, and it kind of exemplifies the effort and the spirit and the good time that we have in playing the game.
That good time is in stark contrast to the bitter lockout, which has plagued the NHL for more than 3 months.
We are focused on making a deal.
We have a lot to do. I have always believed that there's enough time if there's a mutual will to do that.
The league sent a new offer to the players on Thursday. Mid-January is said to be the final deadline to salvage a 48-game season. The players here are hopeful but cautious.
I'm hoping for something still, but I don't know.
I would like a season, and it's fun to watch with my dad.
I hope they can figure it out. They're so close, but they don't seem to be. I'll stay out of the politics of it.
Hopefully they'll come to their senses and work something out. It may not be the best deal, but, people are tired of these lockouts.
So if those billionaire NHL owners and those millionaire NHL players can somehow hammer out a deal even for a shortened season, all the better for the fans here. But most agree on this ice that it's still more fun to play than to watch. Dan Burrett, CBC News, Coquitlam.
The nets are in. The goalies geared up. Clear the pavement. Sticks in.
That's how we pick the teams.
A decades-old tradition is getting underway.
We started on the street when we were 6 years old, and now we're 50. You can do the math.
Cam Irwin, Dave Edwards, and Keith Jones were neighbors when this annual street hockey game began back in the late 1960s. Hockey's really brought you guys together.
Oh, it has, yeah.
We saw that group kind of expand, maybe every 3 or 4 years as we went to different schools, expanded friendships. They would come and play.
The three originals have come to play every year for 45 years.
I live in Calgary now, so for the last 25 years, I always come back for it.
Is this about hockey or friendship or both?
Well, it's both.
This game started as a Christmas Day tradition on the street in front of their houses. But when the guys grew up and had families of their own, they moved it to the Saturday after Christmas on this paved court between their old elementary school and their old high school.
Now it's very much half and half. Young kids, sons, daughters, wives, they want to play. And the old timers.
This is the third time this game has gone ahead, while NHLers have been locked out.
At the pro level, obviously there's money involved, but this is how it all started for those guys, too.
And I think that's getting forgotten a little bit right now.
It is. It's really unfortunate.
This is real hockey, yes.
No lockup.
No lockup.
The game's MVP gets a clay model of Red Wings goalie Jim Rutherford that Cam made in grade 8.
It's been broken about 2 or 3 times, so we've had to glue it back together.
But the real prize is keeping friendship and tradition alive.
A successful year. And we had a good turnout, too.
And you'll be back next year.
Absolutely.
Shannon Patterson, CTV News, Coquitlam.
I have no heart attacks yet. We'll see if we can complete the same today without any heart attacks or major injuries.
It's been more than 40 years, but this group of old friends still meets once a year to keep a tradition going. Their annual Christmas hockey game.
Since the late 60s, because that's the time, kids 7, 8 years old, Christmas Day, go out with their presents, and it was always hockey-related stuff. So we'd be out in the street playing, and not much traffic at that time.
We don't have much in common anymore because we've grown up, but this brings us together every year, and we can play the game and say hello and wish us Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Everybody has a position in this game, and for Bob Edwards, it's been 4 decades of playing goal.
Didn't do any drinking last night, so I should be all right.
You're all prepped, ready to go.
Yeah.
This Christmas tradition has now grown from a bunch of young kids in the 60s playing street hockey to mature men who bring their own kids to play and take part.
Third period. Last game in the playoffs.
It's nice to come though. My father seems to enjoy it, so I might as well show up and have some fun with it.
The draw of this game is hard to ignore, so much that a member of the opposing team signed up. How many years have you played, Garza?
Since first time was probably about 1980, something like that. Yeah. I went to a different school. We used to play our street against their street, so no.
And now you've joined them?
Well, had to, yeah.
In the past 40 years, Morrison Avenue hockey gang members have moved around the Lower Mainland and even across the continent. But fond memories and sportsmanship brings generations together.
I think it's a wonderful thing that they've been able to stay friends all these years and get together, and I think it's a wonderful thing too, that they still play, and it's just so good.